what a journey we have been on already with Fulk, Count, originally Count of Anjou, now Duke of Berry, Poitiers, and Champagne, and maybe even of Orléans. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Realm Builder Guy, and we continue on with the Angevins and Fulk. So I had previously referred to Fulk as Fulk the Black. That's not entirely correct. In fact, it's not shown here. It doesn't really go back, but Fulk the Black is technically this Fulk's grandfather. This Fulk here is Fulk the Fourth, also called Le Réchant, which it's Old French. It's basically what I could find translated means to Fulk the Quarreler, Fulk the Rude, Fulk the Surly, or Fulk the Heroic. According to Orderic Vitalis, he was noted to be a man with many reprehensible, even scandalous habits. I think we can agree that definitely describes our Fulk. And his son, Geoffrey, was actually Geoffrey the Fair, or the Handsome. And this Geoffrey is gluttonous, so maybe he's not quite as fair and as handsome, but I digress. It's been an interesting last few episodes here on the series, and again, thank you for everyone that's been liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. I really, really appreciate that. The channel has grown a lot here over the last month since I essentially came back and started doing this. Added over 1,000 new subscribers, which is really, really cool, and we are edging our way towards 15,000, which is awesome. But before I get into today's episode, what I want to do is kind of reflect a little bit on what's happened story-wise for Fulk Le Réchant, or the One-Eyed, is, of course, you know, his life has been both glorious and tragic, losing Guillaume at a very young age, and then recently Robert d'Anjou in the Baltic Crusade. And the way I kind of look at this, if you look at Robert, now gluttonous seems to run in the family, you know, vengeful, skilled tactician, very good marshal, and he was the marshal in the realm. The way I kind of see it is that was his favorite son, more so than Geoffrey. And him losing Robert has really steeled his resolve to bring his house forward at all possible costs. And yes, of course, the House d'Anjou now has someone here in Queen Amélie, the drunkard, thrifty, impatient, arbitrary, and wrathful queen, a Crusader queen no less, with an unpressed claim on the county of Anjou and a pressed claim on the county of Saumur, and a bunch of titles here. She's not married. She has no children. She's 26. She's in good health, but the primary heir is our Duke. So it's been rather eventful. And a lot of you have pointed to a lot of different things that I may have missed, and I just want to point one thing out real quick. And when I'm recording these episodes, since I'm also talking and role-playing and dealing with a bunch of other stuff, I just simply miss some things occasionally. And I notice them later when I edit or through your comments, so I do apologize for that, and I hope you can understand that. It's a little different if I'm just playing for myself, because I also just play at one speed the entire time. A lot of things don't tend to slip through the cracks quite as often. The other thing that was pointed out, that since people on your court don't just go ahead and marry most of the time or at all, you may as well marry them off. And I, you know, on reflection, I do agree with that. We'll take a look at that. In today's episode, it'll be time for Fulk to look inward versus outward. He's expanded a lot He is now 61, I believe. Yes, in poor, ailing health. So he gets a sense that in his very tumultuous life, in the near 40 years that we have witnessed his life, that a lot has happened. And it's time to solidify internally what he has gained so as to not then lose it all for those that would follow him. The other thing to look at is, of course, historically, there was that connection with England, and then only later, mainly through Henry VI, did the house-ish get a claim on the Kingdom of France. Now, it wasn't really directly Plantagenet. It was through the House of Lancaster. There was the usurpation by Henry IV. But that's for a different time to discuss, maybe. But the suggestion was made, instead of going England, France, go France, then England. And that could work as well. And looking at Brittany as a potential ally as well. So we're going to focus a little bit more inward, less outward expansion at this point, and kind of see what all needs to be done. So we can still do the potential alliance. That's not going to happen because she really hates us, but I don't care. We designate a guardian for our son, Julien. He is 15. And who would we want? Who would fit well with Julien? Julien, he's pretty average across the board. Stewardship is his strength. Martial, he's not very good at. He is scarred, he is bossy, greedy, fickle, but diligent. So I wonder if somebody here would do well to teach him to be a stewardly man. Guillaume de Mons, our steward, might not be bad. I think that could play very, very well. We could go with our personal champion, but no, we're going to go with Guillaume. And he will be the educator of him. I'll get rid of that. Notice, as far as titles go, we obviously have all of these Pomeranian titles that we are due to inherit, which I am not interested in. We can create the Duchy of Orléans as well. We have a number of wars we can declare. Count Archambault of Bourbon for Barthélemy's claims, but I have no interest in these. We can go after the Holy Roman Emperor, the King of England, because of other people's claims. Duchess Sibylle, the Countess Ava has some claims down here for the entire Duchy of Gascon, which could be interesting. Countess Ava of Poitiers, that could get her on our side. Let's see, we're not currently employing a court physician. We've got nobody who would really be any good at that. And we're going to go through all of these internal things today. I'm just kind of ticking off some of these. We've got a number of powerful vassals who want to be on our council and currently aren't. Raoul II, the Honest of Montague. He's pretty good marshal. That might not be a bad one to have there. Count Eudes the Fifth is our current one there, so can't really repurpose either one of those effectively. Count Sigismund of Troyes, he's just not very good. And Bishop Flavio, he would be great at learning, but of course, we already have a bishop, and we can't change that. Stewardship, no, we're pretty well set there all around. I mean, overall, the council isn't too shabby. Count Eudes, he is a powerful vassal, so I mean, we'd be upsetting one powerful vassal for the next. And that just seems a little bit pointless right now. The other thing, and this was also pointed out, now that we're looking internally, we're focusing on disrupting schemes. Now, we could find secrets before I had support schemes, not really doing anything. Disrupting schemes, very, very important, because now we've added a lot of people who really don't like us too much. So we need to make sure that they aren't too much of a problem. So we can pass high crown authority. So that will bump up the vassal taxes and the levy contribution. It'll drop a lot of people's opinion. We can change between all available succession laws. Vassals cannot wage war against other vassals. Vassals' titles cannot be inherited by characters outside the realm. All vassals who refuse title revocation or vassal retraction are considered criminals. Clan government vassals, okay, I don't care about that. Previous levels rulers can change between available partition succession laws. So we are going to pass High Crown Authority Law. Now let's take a look what we can do here. So we've got partition right now. Under partition, your titles will be divided equally between your children. If we go to high partition, the lion's share titles will go to your player heir. And we cannot change because one or more powerful vassals have negative opinion of you and are blocking your succession law. The French culture does not have heraldry innovation. So, I mean, there's unfortunately not much we can do there. Primogeniture, we don't have the innovations in French culture. Let's take a look at French culture right now. They're working on garden architects. Because why not in traditions? Innovations. Is there anything they're working on? Castle Baileys. It's active right now. And nothing else is really moving forward. So it's not much we can do right there. Titles lost in succession. Julien d'Anjou from Realm's Partition. So he's unlanded right now. So from Realm's Partition, the Duchy of Champagne. But I'm not overly concerned with that right now. The focus has always been right here, and I kind of want to keep that right now. Now, let's look militarily. We can bump this up a little bit more. I think I want to add, let's see here. We can add some more cavalry. Bump that up. It'll cost us 85 gold. Just increase our military a little bit. Nice thing is we haven't needed any mercenaries so far, so that's nice. Liege Council, of course, we are the Marshal, so that's good to know. Now, if we go to our courtiers, we still have people in prison. Thierry, we could gain a weak hook. We'll just let him go. He's back to neutral opinion of us. So, here we have someone who's an outstanding physician. Aha, 21 learning. So he wouldn't be too shabby, that's for sure. So we recruit him to court, 130 to bring him to court as a physician. Actually, what we're going to do instead, we are going to search for a physician, because maybe we'll find one, it'll be cheaper. So we will start that search. We can invite climbs. We can attempt suicide. Yeah, not really. Search for a caravan master. And we can work with our liege if need be. So now let's go through these posts here. Caravan master, I think, wouldn't be too bad. Bohemond. Margarita de Limoges. The average. Or we can go with Bohemond de Men, our personal champion and knight. Now, we're going to go with Margarita. And salary when travel starts. Yeah, we will appoint her as caravan master. Court physician we're still looking for. Antiquarian. I don't know if there's anybody here that would be good. No, we've got poor. Nobody really of interest there. Court tutor. Got a few average one. Fulk d'Anjou, our grandson, could be the court tutor. Or Bohemond. Again, Bohemond de Mayenne is just really, really good. Geoffrey d'Anjou. Not really interested in any of those. A master of the hunt. If I get down there anytime soon. So, grandeur change. Master of the hunt. Count Udès is our marshal, vassal, and knight. He would be excellent. Bohemond would be excellent. Count Barthélemy would be average. I wonder if we could appoint him. Yes. So he is now our master of the hunt. And we do got to keep an eye a little bit on how much everything costs, but we've got a good clip of income coming in. I think a court jester. Let's see, a seneschal. We've got a few average people here. Nobody I'm overly interested in. Court jester. Not really. A bodyguard to help against assassination and murder. Schemes. A few average ones. Nobody really there that stands out. And nobody else that we can recruit right now. So we're going to leave that and look at our courtiers. Thibault. We could bring him in, you know, if we get to that point. He's pretty good. But we're just going to wait right now. Guillaume de Mons. We can find a spouse for him at 28. These people have some claims. Is there anybody in here that could be good at something? Melisande de Sens. Elizabeth de Chartres. Let's take a look real quick. Elizabeth de Azagra. Good diplomacy. She's Basque. She's pretty. Sure. You know, I already said I want to marry off some of the people on the court as per the suggestion that was made. So we are going to definitely do that. Bohemond de Maine is not married. And who can we find for him that would be good? Maybe some claims for his family. County of Sens. The Duchy of Provence. That could be interesting. Just interesting. We'll send that proposal as well. Oh, the bishop, and then our grandson Geoffrey d'Anjou, who's got nobody there. I do want to take a look here again at the betrothal for none other than... Oh, we've got a few Welfs in here. That's interesting. For our son, Julien d'Anjou. We're going to press forward. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anything to find for Julien that worked. Could betroth them to the 5-year-old. Marriage proposal? Okay, these are going to come through. This is the 5-year-old daughter of the King of France, but that seems a little far-fetched. And really, other than that, there's nobody in the realm or in any realm that really makes a ton of sense at this time. So, again, Julien is just going to have to wait a little bit before we move forward with anything there. A court physician has been found. So, Renan, he is experienced. What do they say? Renan is quite experienced, costs 65. Gray Eminence, learning me. Eve, she's a vengeful, craven, and lustful woman. Both of them kind of fail to impress me. The thing is, he's relatively inexpensive, so Renan it is. So now we have our court physician, which also helps improve the grandeur as such. And yeah, I think that's all we're going to do right this moment and see as time progresses. There's a dangerous faction building up. There are actually quite a few here. So who we have here? We have Udès of Provence, Count Raoul the Honest, and Count Thibault the Shy for the Duchy of Champagne. So they want to count Udès to take over the Champagne throne. There are a few here that are pushing for that. And we've got a Liberty faction here. And Count Angevins of Rethel. That's not really going to go anywhere. And then Countess Eva, back to the throne of Poitiers. I'm not overly worried about there. Additional taxes. You've gained 115 gold. And we're just getting a lot of money popping up here. It's excellent. Now, the one marriage I'm kind of keeping an eye on is this betrothal here. We've got 12-year-old Princess Matilda of England and 74-year-old Duke Hugh the Hunchback of East Anglia. Now, ideally, this doesn't come to fruition, and that would be an avenue I wouldn't mind going into. I think that could be of benefit to Fulk. Ailing with age, befuddled. Where was I going? Why did I come in here? I could have sworn, right, I was looking for a something. Was it urgent? Did I get back to someone quickly? Next week? Yes, I think so. Aha! There it is. That's what I wanted. I needed that for what was I thinking about? So you gained 30 stress. So age is coming. So before age completely takes him, we will need to get some kids married off here. So Julien, I know you're 15, and it's not exactly the greatest marriage, but the alliance power we could gain from marrying into the French house could be highly beneficial. Get the French king on our side. So we're going to do that. And beyond that, we have another child here. We have a few children. This Fulk, he is already married. And this Fulk, Geoffrey d'Anjou, 1 year old. We will take a look for him real quick. Well, there's nothing for the 1 year old, so we're not going to worry about him. But Julien marrying him off, or at least betrothing him to the French king, could be very, very beneficial to the house, depending on what happens. So now we are allied with the King of France, which is not a bad alliance to have, depending on which direction we wish to go. So I have found a betrothal for the 1 year old with the 7 year old from none other than Brittany, to add that to the overall luster of the house. One seems a little too young, even for Le Rechan. So the quarrelsome Fulk. Our Hunter's Lodge has been constructed in Blois. Excellent. So I think we will have a little bit of fun here, and don't want to host a grand wedding. I'm not interested in that right now. It's heading towards the end of life, so maybe something like a hunt in the next year or in the next spring or summer could be of interest. We've got a new martial lifestyle perk we can unlock here, and we can gain the trait strategist. So diplomacy +1, martial +3, enemy casualties +25, crosses river straits without advantage penalties. Yes. Excellent. So then next, of course, we're going to go down gallant. Uh-oh. Fulk is ill. Duke or peasant, high or low, it does not matter. In the end, we are all mortals. I was reminded this as I woke coughing in the early morning hours, a dull ache pounding through my head and throat. Seem to be under the weather, my lord. I know a fair number of suitable remedies. Do no more than what is necessary. Yeah, a little brighter. Renaud called on the priest to bring forth the finest singer in the court, which turned out to be a young child with a bright tenor voice. For several days in a row, the child sang me to sleep. The soothing voice turned out to be just what I needed, for now the worst of my symptoms are alleviated and the world seems a little brighter. Excellent work, Renaud. Oh, Kaiser Heinrich. The Holy Roman Empire has been excommunicated by Pope Benedictus X. Oh boy. Julien has come of age. Excellent, excellent. Julian's energetic nature was thought to be a sign of an affinity for war and combat, but perhaps it was simply unruliness. He has only developed a basic understanding of the subject, but at least he has learned the essentials of managing an army. I can only hope that the rest will come with experience. They grow up so fast, so he gains the traits logistician and tough soldier. My ward, Prince Geldouin, has been asking me for a pet rabbit for a long time, and I told him I would get one for him in 3 months if he displayed more focus on his studies. Ever since I made the promise, he has been redoubling the effort for his studies. I would never deceive you, Geldouin. Yes, trusting. Okay. So, now let's go down here and see what we can build in Anjou. Really not much. It's all extraordinarily expensive. So, but we could bump up to a bailey, the walls and towers. It's not too bad. Our blacksmith from Bloomeries could go to Bellows, which gives us a nice bonus to men-at-arms damage if they're stationed there, and holding taxes plus 8%. That's not too bad. Take a look at Tours itself. Village center constructed in Longues. So here, Longues, the city. So village center has been constructed. We can make that into a large city, but it's not our holding. So we're not going to worry about that right now. And here we are currently building already. So nothing there. Vendôme. Got another open slot here. What do I want to build in Vendôme? That would make sense. Oh, child of my dynasty, my granddaughter-in-law, Margarita, has given birth to a son. Since the little one is part of the d'Anjou dynasty, he should be blessed with a good name. Let's go with Hugh. That is someone from the dynasty. Now we will continue on looking here what we wish to do. We can construct some stables. That actually wouldn't be too bad. Army movement speed gets increased. Travel speed gets increased. So we will actually construct that. Count Eudes is swayed. That's good. I do like seeing that. Can search for a physician, but we have no need to do that. And what we're going to start doing here is swaying Countess Eva of Poitiers. And, you know, just start to get her on our side. Now, he, on the other hand, of course, is looking to hurt us. And we're just going to keep an eye on that. Some of that has kind of dipped down a little bit, which is okay. We're still increasing county control over here. Let's take a look and see. I mean, we'd have to move down here to Lusignan, Poitiers after this. Sancerre is still one that we need to look at eventually. But once we've got Reims taken care of, once Reims, not Reims, Reims is taken care of, Lusignan and Poitiers definitely be the next ones on the list. And we're going to focus now on domestic affairs as well for our chancellor. I think that would be very, very important for us. Our steward is focusing on collecting taxes. We could promote our culture. Not worried about that. Instead, we can work on development. And that's going to drop our taxes a chunk. But building construction time, development growth, all of that gets helped with that. So we're going to increase our development in a county. And we're going to do it right here in Touraine. So that dropped our taxes a little bit. But I want to work on increasing our development so we can get more money long term. I mean, it all works out. Deft diplomacy, my Chancellor Mayor Géraud has worked hard to convince our neighboring realms and vassals that the peace treaty I entered with Countess Eva Poitiers is flawed, illegitimate, and unfair to me. Once again, free to declare war upon her as I please. I have no interest in doing that, but Aquitaine does look a bit interesting. He's alone. That could be an interesting route to go, but no. We are focused on internal improvements. My old self. As I woke this morning and observed the first rays of sunshine, it took me a moment to realize I had slept soundly for the first time in weeks. I did not wake up coughing once. I'm glad to be well again. You lost the trait ill. So, Le Rachin is still doing well at 62 years old. Quite the formidable life that Duke Fulk has led. And it'll be curious to see how things go in future. Now, looking at Brittany, I do kind of like Brittany. Brittany would be a nice one. England, they are allied with France, unfortunately. Ah, that's a shame. Otherwise, that would have been an interesting one. I mean, we're nowhere near. I mean, even with our allies, because unfortunately, the King of France is taken out of that equation. So that's unfortunate. We've got no reason to declare war on Brittany. Duke Consin is, he's there. Bailey constructed in Touraine. Perfect. I mean, heading towards the coast, Duke Consin has won a war against Count Maz of, I can't pronounce Brittonic names, sorry, Cornwall, in the war against the tyranny of Duke Consin. I mean, Brittany would be kind of an interesting one to go after, but that's external. Development negotiations. King of Touraine gained encouraged development for 10 years. Development growth plus 10%. Excellent. As we are heading towards the end of Fulk's life, I think it might be time for Fulk to actually host an event for once. Oh, an alliance expired. Mathilde has died. Alliance with King Henri. Aha. So that is over. And Julien is no longer betrothed. Well, okay then. That takes care of that. Princess Mathilde has passed away. So Julien is once again unbetrothed. But what we want to actually do here, we can ask our head of faith for a few different ones. Kingdom of Lotharingia, but not interested in any of that. Your son Julien can marry. So let's see if we can find someone for Julien to find that works out. And go back to the Capetians and Princess Anne of France. And she's 8. She's wounded, so that's not great. But she has claims. And a lot of unpressed claims, but pressed claims are the County of Orléans, Beaumont, and the Kingdom of France. So we're going to make this one. So we're going to get that alliance back again with the King of France. They're just punting him off. 17 years old, so it's going to be like... I mean, he may never marry, but at the end of the day, it gets us to a point of power within France that links the Anjou family with the House Capet, the ruling house of France. And I think that serves the ambitions perfectly. But the other thing I wanted to do here was go to activities, and we are going to host a hunt. So prestige, stress goes down, and we gain some more prestige. So we will plan the hunt, and we will actually go for a hunt. And we will do that here in Contré. That might not be bad. Hunt success chance goes up. Loudun could go all the way over here. But we're going to go in the county of Blois in Contré. I think that is where we're going to have the hunt. We also hire some mercenary guards. I think that works out well. You want to focus on reducing stress by looking at stress relieving opportunities. Go for recreation or slay the beast. We want to slay the beast. Of course. Let's manage the guests here. So we've got a number of guests. Perfect. Over 20 guests have been invited. Number of dukes. Duke of Aquitaine of Armagnac. Count of Bourbon. Anybody else? I was kind of hoping the King of France would be in this, but unfortunately, no. So we will start the hunt. Activity options, increase success chance, search parties, and more prestige on completion, reasonable party. Unlanded knights and lazy or martially educated courtier guest joins you. Flush gangs, 105. Here we can go with a reasonable party or a substantial party. We'll just leave it in the middle and we will start the hunt. Captain Meganon has been recruited to the travel entourage. A fresh start. I will be hosting a hunt in Contré, and time has come for us to depart. At last, a chance to pursue my passion and practice my skills. It's true. There's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned hunt. I can't wait. A scheme at court. My spymaster has come to me with grave news. While we do not yet know who, someone is planning to kill my courtier, Giberga, evil black guard. Okay, she's unlanded, has claims in Provence, is married to Bohemond. We must stop the villain behind this. I've barely gone a day and already things are happening. Hunt, making camp. As we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, my servants can get started on the preparations. The gamekeepers check the woodlands each day for signs of quarry while establishing a camp closer to the hunting ground. I've checked my gear and horse many times. It won't be long now. Soon. My brother Simon has died. Succumbed to fatal apoplexy. A pack of pests. Bohemond assembles the party as the sun rises over the camp in the woodlands near Contré. The local gamekeepers have scoured the vicinity for recent tracks and fumes. The pack is a nuisance, scavenging from farms and retreating deep into the woods. Woman shrugs. No matter, a loathsome wolf can still give mighty good sport. Let's get out there. Just as my courtier Renan started to dismount, legs still dangling from the saddle, my subversive vassal Count Raoul made sure to bump into his horse, sending him tumbling to the ground. Acting like a child, and will be punished like one. Count Raoul gains tasted the pelt for 5 years, and loses 20 opinion for 5 years. This is no way for a count to act. You gain mediator. We'll do that. Liberty faction has been disbanded. Excellent. You found raptor eggs. Poachers, here in the Duke's Wood. They huddle together as I ride up with my guards, making a poor job of hiding the dead stag behind them. We did not do this. Please, have mercy, glorious Duke. Their blades and bows belie their words. They will hang and their villages will pay. Yes, arbitrary, hang them. I mean, like, no question about it. Early 12th century, that's what happens. Cornering the wolf. My knight Bohemond signals across the wood. The whole wolf pack crouches in a hollow not far off. The beasts bolt upon our approach, howling the alarm as they retreat into the leafy bushes, fangs snarling. We chase after the fleeing gray vermin, focusing on the largest of the group. Now begins the real chase. After it we ride. You and Count Raoul bonded over hunting. You gain 15 opinion of him and him of me. Like all game, the slippery wolf has many tricks. Blenches and ruses that can fool even experienced hunters. My steward, Guillaume, has halted the party. The wily wolf has been doubling to and fro, retracing its steps and running trails to throw us off the scent. There is no agreement over which course to follow, and each moment we tarry puts us further from our prize. Patience. This should be easy to solve. So, slight increase hunter trait. We will do that. Success chance increases greatly. Increases hunter trait experience. Fulk d'Anjou gain 5 gold. After hours of riding, we are finally cornering the wily beast. Our chance has not been in vain. Whether tired or defiant, the wolf at last halts, turns towards us, and lets out an almighty howl. The huntsmen quickly surround the growling animal, which glowers at me, its bared fangs frothing and dripping with saliva. I will shoot it. That makes sense. You completed your slay beast intent, lost 68 stress. I take aim as the party keep the exhausted animal in place, exhale and loose. The arrow strikes true, straight into the beast's heart. That's how you do it. Hunts like these are a pure joy. I cannot wait for next year. There's nothing quite like the thrill of bringing down a mighty beast. Increased hunter trait experience. Beaumont de Main directs the breaking up, clumsily skinning the carcass before letting the game master take over. Place the eager dog's share of the spoils on the stretched hide before departing for camp and home. I'll keep a memento. You'll become owner of wolf fangs. Yeah. So what has happened? We've lost 84 stress because we're a hunter. Gained 3 trade experience in Venator. Gained 375 prestige. The Fox of Tours gained 60 glory. Count de Blois gained dangerous beast slain for 10 years. Every participating gets 187 prestige. So the popular opinion increases by 25. Become the owner of wolf fangs. Excellent. Finish the hunt. Now making our way back home, and we have finally made it back to Touraine. And we've got a lot of activities available, of which we are going to do none of them. See here, nothing's... Old Hook. Hook on Old Foe, Manassas. He's unlanded. I mean, there's really nothing to do. He's too far away. I'm not worried about that in the slightest. You can see here the discontent is dropping further and further. For this faction, really none of the other factions are of major concern. So, looks like we've done everything there. There is nothing here against the King of France. Let's take a look at the King of France right now. He's allied with us. He's allied with the Count of Valois and the King of England. He also has a lot of unpressed claims, one of which is the Kingdom of England. So I think one thing that Fulk is now considering is casting his eyes south instead of north. If you look at all these duchies here to the south, Aquitaine, pretty isolated. Oh, we have a new martial lifestyle perk. We'll pick that one. That is Stalwart Leader. We'll go down that tree. So if we look at these weakened realms to the south, a prisoner in my own body. Knew that getting older would mean doing everything slower, but I didn't think it would all come to a halt until my death. Then I feel a constant malaise, and everything takes more effort than before. I'm worried that if I lie down, I might not be able to get up again. There's no doubt that my time is running out. I feel like I can do naught but await death's sweet embrace to claim me. How long will I have to wait? Now infirm. So that's not good. So Fulk is heading towards the end. So he casts his eyes to the south. Aquitaine is weak. The county of La Marche, of course, weak. The county of Bourbon is weak. Limousin isn't even in the kingdom. So gaining that back for France could be interesting. The Duchy of Gascon, very weak. Armagnac has a few small alliances. Toulouse is the most powerful. Auvergne, that's would be okay to take a look at as well. I mean, these are all, they're allied with us, so, you know. La Marche, we talked about them. So, I mean, there's really nobody here that can truly withstand House d'Anjou within France, especially if look at expanding further. So I believe it might be time to look to the south. We're going to send our council, send our bishop, and we will head down south to take a look here. Holdings 18, fortresses 8. This one, on the other hand, also have Angoulême. Those could all be interesting. We will focus on here first. So we're going to fabricate a claim there. The good Countess. While hosting lords and ladies from realms near and far, some opportunities to portray my vassal Countess Eva in a good light have presented themselves. My lord, pray tell, who is the most noble lady person you have heard of? Countess Eva, without a doubt. We have plenty of prestige to spend, so people will always believe Fulk, the heroic, for what he tells them. All right, so let's go down now to Lusignan. Need to increase county control down there. And then pretty sure we'll have control everywhere within the realm that we need. Child of my destiny, my granddaughter-in-law, Margarida, has given birth to another son, Geoffrey d'Anjou. Of course, we will have another Geoffrey in the house in honor of our brother who so tragically passed away in the past. My ward, Prince Geldoin, has come of age, and it's time he left my care. For the longest time, I was hoping that good tutelage would be enough to teach Geldoin the intricacies of any kind of scholarship. All efforts have come to naught, however. The pursuit of knowledge never seemed to properly fasten root in his mind. Now time spent among books and tomes seems to be more of a chore for him than a joy. Till we meet again, he has the trait conscientious scribe. Oh wow, King Henri is being attacked by Prince Geldoin. For too long I have suffered indignities at the hands of King Henri. His father will not stand idly by while our liege abuses his loyal vassals. Urge you to join me in the fight to depose the tyrant. Geldoin, I mean, you know what? No, you're a traitor. You are a traitor, and we do not work together with traitors. Those are a lot of traitors. I think it might be time to... do we join in this war, or do we leave it to the King of France to deal with all these unrulies? I mean, the King of England's coming in now, so yeah, that's not going to end well. Sancerre's under siege by these guys. All right. That's enough. That is enough. I'm going to offer to join the war, and we're going to raise our forces here and march against the traitors in the field. I'm going to head down south. Countess Eva is not swayed. Our Bill polearm was destroyed. I don't really care about that one. All right, let's head up north instead. Those rebels were pushed away. We will meet these in the field, maybe. Will we catch anyone? Defending of the forest, higher quality. We have way more men. Guichard. We will destroy them in the field under the leadership. Oh, shoot, no, now they've gotten... Uh-oh. All of a sudden, a lot of allies have shown up. The battle has turned against the Duke as the King of France is to the north, wounded. My injured vassal, my Chancellor, Mayor Giraud, has been wounded. The injury runs deep. I fear that his body is not strong enough to fight this own. Feel death lingering by his bedside. And we lose. Well, that's not good. That's not what we wanted at all. A strategical impasse. I'm sitting around the map table with Mayor Sigismund, Count Raoul, discussing our strategy for the ongoing war. Sigismund eagerly points out all of the prime targets we should immediately send raiding parties to pillage. while Raoul explains how we need to watch what our foes do and respond accordingly. So Sigismund or Raoul the Honest. I know how we can employ both strategies. Mayor Sigismund has the right idea. I'd rather see Count Raoul's plan. Yes, I think that is the course of action, but we have lost now, defending our liege against this rebel force, and nobody came to our aid. Our counselor, Giraud, has died. Vendôme is under siege from large forces. And we are regrouping in the north. This rebellion is not good. We're going to find a new chancellor. And we can do Renan or Count Raoul. Ooh, Count Raoul is not good. He's not good at this. So Renan would actually be a pretty good chancellor. And that, after losing, unexpectedly losing that battle in defending France against an internal rebellion, is a good place to end today's episode. What are your thoughts on what will happen next in the life of Duke Fulk? Where we should look and move? I mean, obviously we're looking at claims down here. And look at all these. Toulouse, Gascon. All are looking for independence from France. This could be an interesting war at the end of it. Strategically may have gone the wrong route. I mean, if we would have joined that faction, King of France may have been pushed over, but the King of England coming in, that is the key area that I think is so dangerous for these rebels eventually. At this large host will move south. We'll wait for them. Obviously, they are ravaging our lands, which is to be expected given that we are the largest vassal in France. But let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and until next time, I am Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.